Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm playing Modern Warfare 2, a game that came out in 2009. Modern Warfare 2 really is one of the best Call of Duty games there are, and it came out 15 years ago. It has something that modern Call of Duty doesn't really have, which is that, character and effort. It feels like they cared about the game when modern Call of Duty really doesn't have that. It just seems like all they care about is money, and that affects the game. There's a reason I and a lot of other people play these old Call of Duty games over the new ones, and it's because it's just fun. It's just purely fun, and there's not like a battle pass or store or anything like that. The game was made to be fun and not to keep you playing with skill-based matchmaking or anything like that. And that's kind of a shame that Call of Duty is like that now, but at least the old games are still playable even now. You can play almost any of the Golden Age Call of Duties and you can probably get into a match. Even Call of Duty 4, I was playing it the other day, that game still has players. That kind of says a lot about Call of Duty now, that people play games that are 15 years old over new releases within the past few years. Like I said, the older games are just really fun to play. You can hop on and just relax and have a good time, again without having to worry about battle passes or skill-based matchmaking. It's something about that arcadey gameplay of the older titles. Maybe it's the graphics and the art style and stuff like that. The UI was also really clean, and that gives the game a lot of charm that most modern games, not just Call of Duty, are lacking. And for the old Call of Duty games, they're not the only ones that are still really good. There are so many other games from that time or even older that are still really great games, and maybe even better than a lot of the modern games of today. I don't know if it's something about gaming that changed, but sometimes it can feel like gaming isn't really the same as it was. Back around that time, there were countless great games being released, whereas today every game that looks good either has some kind of catch or comes out unfinished, or just doesn't come out or gets endlessly delayed. It's nice to return to an older era of gaming and appreciate those old games for being as good as they are. Like I said about the charm, a lot of games from that time are just really fun, charming games. They're not asking anything from you. They're not asking you to log in every day, and they're not pressuring you with battle passes and the fear of missing out. They're just there to give you a good time. Old video games are honestly great and a blast to return to. Or maybe not even return to. There are so many great games from that time that I've played for the first time recently, and there are still a ton that I haven't played that I want to. But I don't want to be all negative. There are a lot of games that have come out recently that are really good. I don't want to be all gloomy and say that gaming is terrible now compared to then. A lot of great games have been released in the past few years. From Software is a great example of a studio that still releases amazing games even now. They're an example of a studio that doesn't, conform with the modern gaming standards of releasing unfinished games with microtransactions and whatnot. From Software is a really rare example of something like that, especially for a AAA studio. But a lot of other games have been good recently, and a lot of them have been indie games or smaller studios. Outer Wilds and Hades are both great indie games, or smaller studio games that have come out not that long ago. Those games are both highly rated. Baldur's Gate 3, I believe, is also not a really big budget AAA game, but I could be wrong on that. But either way, it's a great game that came out recently. Subnautica is another game, one of my personal favorites that came out not super long ago. And yeah, it's really good. I could keep going, but you probably get the point. But anyway, old games are really great, and so are some new games. I'm trying to play more games, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, a like or subscribe would be appreciated if you want to send some support, and I'll see you in the next one.